account. Okay. So we're connected to Restream. Twitch. Good job, Twitch. You're always working first thing. And now, do we work on YouTube? Okay, I think we're also working on YouTube now. All right. Quality is super bad. I don't know why. Quality 720. Can I go 1080? I think that's all right. It's still a bit bad. Why is the quality so bad? I think the bitrate is low, but Twitch doesn't let me have a higher bitrate. Wait, Twitch bitrate and YouTube live bitrate. Should I be changing this? I don't think I can change it for this stream, but I always forget to check it after the stream. So I'm doing a 1080p 30 FPS stream, I think. Maybe 60? I'm not sure. Probably not. I don't really need it. I am doing 60. Okay. So minimum bitrate. It wants 4 megabits. Now the problem with Twitch, I think, wants 2 point something. At least one of them complains if I go over a number, and the other one complains if I stay under that number. So it's a bit annoying. All right, I need to sort out the bitrate for the next stream. Somebody remind me. All right. Anyways, I think we're live everywhere now. I hope so. And that's my Twitch window. That's my music. And that's the stream monitor on YouTube. And that seems to be okay. I don't know why my bitrate is actually that low. I should go higher. So it's currently at... YouTube doesn't want to let me know, which is a bit silly. Restream says 2.4 kilobits. 2.4 megabits. It's not great. But then, yeah, we're not playing shooters here or something. So it should be okay. And my face doesn't need to be pretty. I don't think, and I don't think the bitrate is going to fix that. Okay. All right. So today we're going to work on the AI self-assistant, which may get a derpy Toby face here. This is not a final version of Toby. This is just a funny version of Toby. I put some marquees on this button, which I'm going to remove for a sec here, just so we can take a look at this. So we don't really need the marquees here for sure. Let me just put that there. And we'll just say, this is just going to have AI solver on it, something like that, right? Yeah, AI solver. And we'll figure out what we'll do with that space because that looks... Hey, Blobs! Hey, Mark! How are you guys doing? This is a warning. This is going to be a little bit of a spoiler for something that's going to happen in 7, 8, 9 days. And it's kind of in the title. So, just a full warning. If you want to be surprised in 9 days for 1 day, then you might want to skip this stream. Otherwise, you know, we might have some fun. And just, I'm not going AI here. I'm just playing with it. All right. So, let us do a little bit of a to-do list. So we're going to have a few steps, and I've put them down somewhere else, but for now, so we're going to have steps. We're going to have start AI assistant dialog. So we need a dialog to start it up. 2, we need a way for the AI assistant to communicate to the user. So we need a text output UI, right? So it's some sort of scrolly box. It's probably going to go up here somewhere. I don't know if I'm going to overlay it onto the top bar. Maybe I get rid of plain SudokuPad and kind of put it there and then just come it down, just so it's always, that it's never interfering with the margin on the puzzle. Because I wouldn't want to have to deal with moving the puzzle down. We might have to do it. I hope not. Alternatively, I might have to put it up here. The problem then becomes obviously that in different layouts, I mean, here it can be on top, here it could be up here. We'll figure it out. So, we need to be able to make assisted move. Right? So that's gonna be something like select move, or how about we create list of moves to select likely move, and let's rename them to action because they're going to be actions. And then 3.2 execute action. 4 communicate action result to user, and that's our output. Yeah, next week. And in fact, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to get this launched while I'm in transit, because I think on that day, I shouldn't be traveling anymore on that day, but I also won't be like available to potentially monitor it. So I'm going to try to set it up so it runs on autopilot. But I also need to be able to have a kill switch in case it goes wrong. So we'll see how it goes. Then 5, we need a way of enable or let user exit assistant. 6, let user restart assistant. Assistant. Okay, so these are our main steps. SudokuPad. Yeah, I've actually thought about like playing with those kind of the specific brandings of things, kind of all on purpose, but I think it gets kind of meta then. It's like, okay, one will make more sense to programmers, others will be more fun to the general audience, etc., right? So, for the startup dialogue, I want to write some clarifying language just to make sure. I don't want to call people, like, I don't want to get people in trouble that are, I remember last year, I think Bremster, he was just trying to get some work done and he got stressed out because something wasn't working. I don't know if it was for April 1st or something else, but I want to make it sure that that people aren't caught out with it, right? That people got stuff to do, it's not just fun and games for everybody. So the dialogue initially needs to have some kind of language that makes it clear to it, and I want to be a bit have a bit fun with it, right? So start up dialogue text. Let's just write something here quickly. Something like, I'm happy you have chosen me, the AI solve assistant, to help you out today. This is, and we'll just say something like SudokuPad AI solve assistant. Let's make it verbose, this is an exclusive preview. Only available today, April 1st. Flickr to tools. So I'm thinking of like animating the word and just kind of like bzz, bzz, like glitch flickering it. JavaScript glitch flicker CodePad. And I was thinking of like maybe I can find like some basic animation timing that does that. It just guys like bzz, 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 like just kind of a flashing. All I need is like the timing for it. So I'm assuming this is just a CSS animation. So, kind of something like that. Yeah, something like that. We'll play with that a little bit. We'll probably try to move all of that stuff towards the bottom, right? So 7, fun with animations and effects. 8, have derp Toby carry digits about. An animated character. Have animated. I'd love to have that, but I'm also like on a super time pressure. So it's now 4:45. I started half an hour late. Then I had trouble starting. And at 7, I have a meeting regarding SudokuCon that I can't skip. So today's stream is going to be a bit short, and I'm trying to do a lot. And it needs to basically be bulletproof. I can't just have this experimental on beta or something. So it's a bit, all right. So, figure to fools. If you don't want to, oh, yeah. So I got to warn about spoilers. Warning, the AI assistant may spoil some parts of the puzzle. I don't know if I should mention likely not, because I don't know if anybody's caught on to it yet, but this AI assistant is actually going to be very derpy and dumb, and it's going to basically just pick sort of silly random moves. And potentially get them wrong. And in fact, I might select towards wrong moves, you know, filling in wrong digits and saying like, oopsie daisies, that wasn't right. Can you fix it, please? So it shouldn't really spoil a puzzle, but it could, right? Especially if somebody mistakes, it doesn't realize right away that it's, you know, a bit of a gag. So I want to have that in there in additional dialogue. But of course, this text needs to be short enough that people will actually read it. So parts of the puzzle. And then we'll probably want to have an option. Yes, try AI assistant. And then options. No. Perhaps later. Something like that. Let's have some fun. Boom. Something whimsical so people don't take it seriously and don't think this is gonna be, you know, a thing, a real thing. Then, action lists. So I'm thinking we want to do filling in out digits outright. We wanna corner and pencil mark things. And maybe borderline correctly, so we don't necessarily teach a beginner wrong ways of, you know, so kind of center mark possibilities or whatever, you know, like select a single cell for center marking, select cells within a box for corner marking, and maybe we should use a one of these puzzles as our test scenario, right? Something like that. And I think I want to do coloring as well. I was considering pen marks as well, but they're a bit more complex to, because like it's kind of funny because pen marks don't necessarily make sense on most puzzles. So it's kind of easy to do to do silly and crazy pen marks. But maybe I'll keep it to the standard tools. So we have the startup dialog text, then we have potential actions. Let's do these so we can recognize what we're doing. So potential actions. We have enter digits, center marks, corner marks, and colors. And colors, I don't want to have it just completely be random because then it'll be a bit silly. So with colors, maybe we'll just do one color per cell at most or something like that. Or ideally select multiple cells that are the same digit and color them in or something. Like, do a little bit more than just a random thing. But of course, we'll have to do handle selection, right? I don't want to just randomly select and deselect. So we need to kind of do something with a little bit of determination. It doesn't have to be correctly solving the puzzle, but the actions themselves should look human. But we don't need to be super intelligent about it. So we could select from a subset, like we could have a list of predefined actions. So let's say select It might select a row and then color it. Or it might select a box and then center mark them all. You know, that kind of thing. But maybe we can randomly pick the box. So I keep looking to the right because we have some clothes hanging outside and the weather's kind of weird and kind of really windy, and I'm just waiting for them to fly off into the distance, right? Anyway, so we have the potential actions. And then finally, we want to have the post action. What is it called? POS, parts of speech? POS, parts of speech. Post action messages. So, and then basically, I probably just want to have a list of affirmative action. I'm tempted to literally just have a whole bunch of sentences that I can just randomly pick from, just to get it over and done quickly. And then later on, I can maybe refine it, but I don't want to get too fancy with this, right? So it could be just a list of 10 things where it just says something like, comma, that, or like, oh, that's not right at all. Or something like, comma, this is much tougher than I expected, you know, stuff like that. And we'll just have a bunch of those. But I don't know if I also want to potentially be reactive, like, hey, if the error count doesn't increase, you know. So for example, what I was thinking of doing is if I have framework.app.check, right? So that gets 97, right? So if I put a 2 here, it's now gone to 100, right? If I put a 4 here, it's still at 97. I don't know what the correct 96, 8, 9. So I'm guessing 8 might be the correct one because that's reduced it by 1, which probably the error that got reduced is the error of having not the correct digit in the cell. So I would like to keep it super simple and basically just run check before and after the action, and you know, so for evaluate, and basically say check. Okay, did we reduce the errors? If not, so originally I was figuring that I have like a few positive responses as well. It's like, oh, look at that, we got a digit or something, you know. But I'm almost tempted to actually exclude correct answers and like just have a list of negative responses. But I might also have something like for coloring, like here, comma, I hope that this helps you onwards. So it might just suddenly do this, right? This, and then just do something like that. And then just say, hey, here, I hope this helps you onwards, right? Or like, ooh, comma, pretty color, right? So maybe make it just completely nonsensical. Onward. All right. So that's kind of the basic idea. I also need to make sure, because there's something on beta which needs to get published, so I'll probably want to publish that first. And we've done this, so I gotta be a bit careful. I'm just gonna patch that without the version increment, because I think that's I don't really want to version this. I'm just got minor fix to puzzle zipper, because the puzzle zipper shouldn't really exist anymore. But yeah, we'll see. Ideally, yeah, I think Blobs, you're not quite reading between the lines. This is okay. I'll spell it out. Anybody who doesn't want to get spoiled again for next Tuesday, right? Yeah, this is an April Fool's joke. Blobs. I'm also testing out some technology for interacting with the user and with the board, which is something we're going to use for the 9x9 project, and which might be used for something like that. So in the future, we're hoping to have interactive tutorials, and we'll have, you know, like things like, hey, show me what an X-Wing is. And it'll be, you know, animated on the board, but it's still interactive, and you click on it and you can put in your own digits, that kind of stuff. So this is a little bit of a small step to kind of test some of that stuff, but it's gonna be deliberate to be a joke, right? Like I don't wanna people think that I'm just adding, you know. Basically, the other day I woke up and I was hearing I was watching some news item about Instagram adding a AI assistant for doing comments for you. And I was thinking how the irony is that a lot of these tools basically do the thing that is the only reason you're using that thing, like commenting on Instagram. Besides posting things, commenting is the only other interaction you're doing there. You know, if you're not, like, if you have AI posting your pictures and then you have AI making the comments, then there's no people interaction, right? And apparently Microsoft is also looking into having Copilot for gamers, so they don't have to play the games anymore. So the joke is kind of like, hey, you know, it looks like you want to solve a puzzle. How about you don't get to do that, and we'll solve the puzzle for you? And that was kind of the idea for this. So the whole joke is that, like, yeah, it's silly to have an AI solver. Of course, I'm kind of skirting very close to a subject which is real, which is like an automated hint system, a teacher, you know, that kind of thing. And I have to be careful to stay away from that so people don't get disappointed that it isn't that. So I want to make it super obvious that it's not real kind of thing. But yeah, in the future, some of the technology I'm thinking about, and we're not talking about the AI part, we're talking about reading state of the board, showing messages to the user, you know, that sort of stuff. So I think I'm gonna start with creating a feature for this, so it makes it easier for me to kind of isolate the code. So I haven't done a new feature in ages. No, not that. So we'll want to do this. I might have to reduce the text size a bit so I don't kind of run out of space. What is the most recent feature I've built? Because it's always good to start from to make sure. User plugins relatively recently. Just to have the latest sort of boilerplate API code in there. Gifting is relatively recently. Hair gag is... Hair gag, I'm actually tempted to add the hair gag back in and actually have the AI interact with it and say some silly things about it, just because people might not remember it or not have seen it yet. A large puzzle is actually relatively recent, isn't it? Yeah. Let's start from that. So we're just going to copy that over here. Right, we're going to save this under feature AI assistant. I think that makes sense. So this will be AI assistant. I think I'm going to make the I small just for automatic processing purposes. AI assistant. All right, we can get rid of that. We don't need any of these. Okay, these should be nothing. We don't need these. I don't think we need any of these. No, these are all custom. All right. Let's do this. Okay. I think we'll probably put it under here, under experimental for now. Try AI assistant. And I'm just going to write 4/1 as a sort of hint that this is a joke for April Fools. And attach and detach, I think, isn't gonna be like that at all. I think it's gonna be that. And then that. So we're gonna have this. I feel a bit weird because I feel like I've not done this in so long that I'm not sure of myself. There was a time when I did new features every other week, even every other day. All right, so we're also already messing with this file, so we can just add it in here at the bottom. AI assistant, right? So here we are. So then the button should get added from the AI assistant, obviously. I don't think I can sort of... I don't think I have an automatic process of doing that. I think I actually need to do something kind of custom here. All right. Attach element. So let's just say p dot create button. I'm just gonna keep that here for a sec. All right. Well, if I get to the point of having an animated Toby bouncing around, maybe he'll just shed hair as he walks. I don't know if the hair gag is easily adaptable for multiple hairs, but it would be kind of funny. So these are all sort of like you know, optional. Integrate hair gag somehow. I don't know exactly how I would do it because I kind of also just want to have the AI basically interact with it the same way that the user would, which might mean the AI needs a cursor, and the cursor maybe the AI gets like a little hand, so not a regular mouse cursor, but like a bigger one with an actual finger, and then it kind of gets sidetracked and starts messing with the hair, you know, that kind of thing. All right, so I think we can now kind of hook into that. I think I can just go into controls button, and then under tools input, where was it before? Was it under tools input? Was it inside? Yeah, so I think inside tools input, we'll just add a button row. So document.query selector. So we'll have dot controls dash input. So we'll just do something like this. And then we'll do insert adjacent HTML. If that is the right spelling. No, capitalize, capitalize. And then we'll do before end, like that. And then we'll just have something like const button HTML, something like that. And like that. And you will just say const input controls yell equals this. Right. Now we'll just do something like that. I think it's running detach here, isn't it? If setting C setting name. How we are enabling the setting, eventually I have to figure out, because obviously this needs to be automatic. This can't be something people opt into. So we have this. But we also have this. Attach element, right? Oh yeah, because we're not executing create button here. So this dot create button. So boom, we've got a button, right? All right, actually, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. The space to the side, that's fine. I want it to be big and brash. I think it should still work on both layouts. Probably not great for mobile because it makes the whole thing bigger. But it does seem to be managing the resizing still. Let's see if I enable and disable it from here. If I do this. Oh, because I'm not removing it at the moment. What if I do AID equals AI assistant button? So if I do this, and then here we can just do something like remove button, move button, like that. Right, and then we'll just do this. Yep. Like that. If I do this, no button, button. Okay, so if we want to do a resize after that. That's basically what I wanted to check, and I think the large puzzle UI actually had that. Find.resize. So if we just execute that afterwards, we should be good, right? We have a button. We get rid of the button. No, not that. Get rid of the button. Off. No button. On. Button. Now, if I remove this and refresh, it's not there. Enable that and refresh, it's there. Remove it again, it's not there. Okay, so that seems to work. So all right, cool. Custom dialogue. Haven't done one of those in a while. So start dialogue. Show start dialogue. Do something like that. Because I was thinking the button, pressing it the first time might start the solver, but pressing it again, it might change the label to like, instead of the AI kind of, originally I thought the AI would literally start solving the puzzle, but making bad moves. But maybe the AI will say something and then wait for you to press the button. So we might actually change the text. We'll actually change that to assistant button. So handle button. So we'll do that. And then here we'll say controls element dot query selector button. And we'll probably need to give it an ID, but maybe not. We'll just say add event listener click. And this, again, I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. So, to make sure this goes out the door in time, considering that I have to do a lot of preparation for SudokuCon. So I can't justify too much time on this. Query selector. Here we go. If I now click this, nope. Why not? Create button. Controls input button. Oh, not controls element. I am a silly boy. We want this. Yep. All right. So clickety click. Nope. All right. Const assistant btn or just btn. btn equals this. Boom. Make sure. Whoops. Let's call it button element. Right. Let's do that. So button element. Handle button. Handlers should be bound. Am I misspelling the handler prefix? No, handle should cause it to get bound. Add event listener click. this handle button. Am I doing something with these buttons? It's possible that there's something else that's messing with these. Oh, wait, it shouldn't be a delete button, should it? AI assistant. It shouldn't be a data control button. Maybe that'll fix it? No. Because I think there's something I'm doing, but I shouldn't be able to strip handlers from these. Unless the click just doesn't go through. It's definitely the right button. I don't know what this space on the right here is. We have this flex style. The other buttons don't have that. What's going on with you? How big do you get when I do that? 1 sec. How big? 4 REM. So times 3 is 12.6. What is that arrow? What is that area to the side? I don't do that. It still has this weird area next to it. Okay, it's not the icon. Although the icon has some sort of area next to it. Oh, it's the text. But then, when it's wide enough... No, the text is sitting in there quite happily. Don't know what that error, the dashed area looks like. Yeah, you know, I've never been able to Google what these things mean. There's this diagonally... I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's this diagonally dashed square next to the button, and I don't know what that means. Maybe it's some sort of float indicator or something. I don't know. And I've never found documentation that actually clarifies any of that. All right. Our button... Oh, now it's working. Wait, what? Also, I selected the text on the button, which shouldn't happen. I don't know why it's suddenly working now. Maybe it wasn't working... It doesn't work on touch? Button, click, handler, touch.